here we are back again. We got the week 2 recap. Great week for me. The Patriots won. Maybe not quite the week I was hoping for in fantasy, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Chill. Chiefs 0-2. What do you guys say about that?
First off, I'm excited to be here for a week 2 podcast with our new intro. Clayton's been working hard for us on a little extra something, so excited for the boys to be able to see it. I don't know what to say about the Chiefs game other than all the owners who voted to keep the tush push in play this year must be on the Epstein list, and Jeffrey Lurie must know about it. That's the only explanation I can come up with. Play's got to go. It's ruining the game. We all know it.
Yeah, I will say there was some, there was a lot of talk on Twitter about the offsides, the lining up, the jumps.
At minimum, the cheating part of the tush push has to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah. If they jump off sides or line up, incorrectly, that should be flagged. I mean, I will give you that one.
And I guarantee it gets called going forward.
I hope so. All right, getting right into the standings here. We got you and Lucas at top at 4-0. Quite the start for you this year. You want to say a couple words about that?
Well, I think we're going to hear a little bit about this week's game from you in a bit, but I'll take my moment here. After all the flack I caught at the draft for picking Mahomes in the first round, not only from the people in this league, but also the experts at ESPN and Fantasy Pros who thought I was going to be in last place. To be sitting at 4-0 feels pretty good. It just proves that, you can waste your first round pick on anything you want if you know ball. So, catch up.
Yeah, I will say, I really thought I was going to be 2-2 this week, but it's okay. Is there anyone besides, yourself, or I'll even put me out there. Let's leave us out of it. Anybody's team, got off to a slower start or hotter start than you expected?
Well, Sam's team was, I would have said Sam's team until all of the injuries hit him at once this week. For a faster start than I expected. His team has looked pretty solid. And then a slower start, I had some hope for Bo's team with Jahmyr Gibbs and Alvin Kamara. So to see him sitting down at 0-4, it doesn't give me much hope. But, it's a long year. I started 1-9, Bo. Now, never give up.
Yep. I mean, you never know. Still early. Still just 2 weeks.
What about you?
I don't know. Bo's a good one. I mean, I liked Bo's team a lot. I don't know. I didn't really like Joey's team, so that's not surprising. But it's just Joey generally does good in this league. So
yeah.
I guess seeing him, 0-4 and changing his name all the way to rebuilding at this point.
Already throwing the towel in, apparently.
Exactly. So that was just kind of surprising to me. But all right, moving right along. We're going to talk about some points for kind of some of the differences there. You see the 1, 2, 3s, Lucas, Ryan, Casey, top 3 in points for.
Top three are the same as standings, which is a good thing to see. You don't like to see a huge discrepancy between these.
Well, and then even if you get rid of me at 7, you got 4, 5, and 6, 8, 9, and 10 all in a row. So really, you just look at me there at 7, kind of the outlier. Had a big week this week, and
after a big week,
didn't quite.
Well, I'll let you go. I'll let you go here because you deserve a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We will talk about our game, and I will fully vent then. But I must say, was happy about the team's performance this week overall. After I got over last night, I slept, had a chance to breathe. I was happy. I looked at the team. I was happy. I saw the wide receivers. I saw Lamb. I saw Brown. And I saw that 125, and it felt good. And I did get rewarded with the win against, the league or the spread or however you want to call it. But we'll get into
I'm a huge fan of that rule that we added in 2 years ago, whatever it was now. Yep. Having that so that you don't feel completely screwed after a pretty good week from your team, it is a big morale boost.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely helped the Sting this week. But like I said, I'll get into a full vent when we get to our game. But
you deserve it.
Moving right along, we'll get into Lucas versus Scott. 4-0, 0-4. When I look at that game, I just I see Lucas's team and I still see dominance. I mean, you saw Malik Neighbors, just huge game there, probably the difference maker in this game as a whole.
Huge game.
Yeah, and then you kind of look at Scott's team there, and not terrible weeks when you look at individually. You just kind of look at there's no big performer, and maybe the running back slightly disappointed. I mean, Genty, probably you would have expected him to be getting double digits pretty much every week, and then Williams too. I guess usually used to double digits. It just seems like it's not terrible,
Right.
but they're just not what you would expect.
Williams has been a touchdown machine for the last couple of years, it seems like. And for him not to fall in when they scored 33 points at some point during the game was a little bit surprising. And yeah, Genty, the Raiders seem determined to not give him the ball very often to me. Last week, I mean, it wasn't huge, but he got saved with the touchdown. And then this week, I mean, they were behind the whole game, so it makes it a little bit tougher to get those rushing attempts, and he doesn't seem to be their passing option. Um, but I think they'll get something together. He's too talented to stay down that low all year.
Yeah, I agree. And then I mean, CMC still looking pretty good. Didn't even have
I
Rodgers
mean,
in
as
there.
long as he's healthy, he's gonna look good. That's the thing, right? As long as he's on the field, you have to think CMC is gonna look like a stud, and he's kept that up so far.
Yep.
The one thing I'll point out
Okay.
too, for Scott there, the Keenan Allen pickup, the biggest waiver pickup of the week last week. I was a little skeptical about it. Seems to have paid off. He got in the end zone again. Still looks pretty spry for a 33-year-old. So good
Yeah,
pickup.
and it looks like the Chargers are fine throwing the football a lot.
It's like that's what they want to do.
I guess so. All right, moving into you know Sam versus Casey. This is one of the ones we agreed or disagreed on. I had Sam, you had Casey. Sam's team kind of let me down. I will say I think a healthy Joe Burrow makes a little bit of a difference. And then
Is it 25 points of difference though?
no, probably not.
Probably
I
not.
mean, but a healthy Joe Burrow and a healthy Aaron Jones.
Maybe that is
That
right.
that that could have been the difference. Zay Flowers continues to look good for Sam. Devon Achane looks really good, and then you
Puka.
Puka, and then you had Tyreek back over 100 yards against a Patriots secondary that just looks absolutely awful. I have no clue what's going to happen this week with them, but I mean,
Was Gonzo back this week?
no. So
Okay.
I don't.
Maybe some help on the way.
Yeah, I doubt he plays this week too. So maybe Aaron Rodgers goes for 400 against us. I have no idea. But getting into Casey's team, I mean, big week for Jamar Chase, even with Burrow going down.
Huge.
Bucky had a nice week for Casey this week, and then Devontae Adams. I mean, he was solid. So good week for Casey overall. I mean, me and you both liked his team at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
He's 3-1. Solid team still in my eyes.
The uncharacteristic, just awful game from Derrick Henry. I think it was like 11 for 23 yards. The Browns defense, I think we talked about it in the last one, that they are legit.
Yeah.
They're real.
Yeah.
They somehow gave up 41 points, but it didn't seem like the Ravens went too. I mean, Derrick Henry definitely didn't go crazy. I know Lamar had a bunch of touchdowns, but the Browns just seemed to be giving them short fields over and over again to score on, and the defense can't stand up for that long.
Yeah, the Browns have to move the ball to help that defense a little bit. I think the defense, I mean, for the first little part of that game, kind of held them in there. But if your
Yeah,
offense can't move the ball at all, and it's just constant 3-and-outs or
blocked punt.
yeah, exactly. You're not gonna even get close to win football games. But I think we kind of all expected that with the Browns this year. But still, another. Another good week for Casey, and he gets rewarded with the W there. Moving
Yep.
on to Cub versus Joey. Not the highest scoring game this week.
Could have been higher. I will say there's been a little bit of trash talk in the group message from one Joey Roram about some of the analysis that's done on this podcast about who's going to win in his games. I don't know if either of us have been wrong yet on those. Um, and Joey has dropped 0-4. So we'll see how week 3 goes. Maybe he'll rebound a little bit, and we'll give him some picks here. But right now, I think our analysis on those games has been pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Cubs team, I think he's just kind of solid through and through. I know it was 88 points, but on a down week, you still had double digits from RB1 and RB2. I mean, I guess Jefferson and Sutton didn't look great,
It'll be
but
really interesting to see how Carson Wentz affects Jefferson. He seemed to be pretty quarterback proof
yep,
last year when Darnold played, and then had a pretty solid week 1 with McCarthy, and then obviously a down week here. Carson Wentz looked terrible when he played last year for the Chiefs in that final week of the year against the Broncos. Um, and with him having to play a week or two, it would be interesting to see how Jefferson pulls through.
yeah. And the other thing I'll say about Cubs team, it also always helps when your kicker scores over 20 points. Huge
It's a
week,
big one.
huge week for Brandon Aubrey there.
A real weapon, though. I mean, to be
Yeah,
able to just confidently kick a 65-yarder, that's a real weapon.
yeah.
And potential rule change next year. Just going to load it out there. 60-yard kicks should probably be worth 6 points if they aren't already.
We will have to look into that actually, because if they aren't,
I
I
think right
definitely agree.
now it's just 50 plus. And that might even be something we could vote on midseason because I think the amount of kickers that are lining up from 60 plus is worth a point.
Definitely. And then we'll look at Joey's team. He had a good week kind of from the running backs there, but Brian Thomas Jr. has to be a disappointment. JSN continues to look good. Brock Bowers with the knee injury, they weren't really using him. I kind of wish, maybe they wouldn't have played him. I probably would have helped Joey. I don't know if it would have helped Brock Bowers long term, but
Especially with some of the options that were on our waivers last week with Ertz and Kraft, he probably would have picked one of those guys up and plugged him in
yeah,
if he knew Bowers was going to be out. And it sucks when your quarterback gets hurt. I don't think Fields was doing a whole lot before he got hurt, but to only drop 3 points a week after having a monster game and then to lose by 10, that hurts.
and he put more money on Justin Fields than he did, or he must have Justin Herbert, and looks like Justin Herbert, which I was able to snag, was the correct Justin to get. So, um, kind of glad about that. Sucks for Joey. We'll see what he does this week and the waivers at the quarterback position.
I think he might be active again when
Yeah,
he's been talking.
I definitely see Joey with the quarterback pickup. But getting into Bo versus Tanner, we kind of were both expecting Bo to have a bounce back week, and he
He
was
played better
close.
than last week.
Yeah, he was close,
Better than
but
last week. I think he only put up 67 points. So step forward. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I think we talked about that a lot. He was going to look good from the jump, got right in the end zone. Lions offense looked like a whole new team, basically, on against the Bears. So the Packers defense seems for real. The big disappointment, I think, on Bo's team is A.J. Brown.
yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, just not getting targets, really.
Yeah, he did have quite the snag. I think it was on a third down play where he was like, I don't even think he was ready and just kind of snagged it with his hand. Um, but yeah, I agree. Fantasy wise, definitely disappointing. And you got to wonder if Bo is going to take advantage of some of these tight ends in free agency. Mark Andrews he doesn't seem like the Mark Andrews of old. So, I mean, with Kraft, Ertz still available, you got to wonder if Bo's going to be, reaching for a tight end in free agency this week.
And likely will probably come back fairly soon. So be another hit on Andrews.
Yeah. And then when you look at Tanner's team, I mean, he has a
Who
solid
would have
team.
thought that Javonte Williams would be his best running back?
Yeah, I mean
Sweet.
Javonte Williams. I almost want to say he's almost a lineup lock for me at this point. I know Tanner has Romu Desi down there too, who he's looking great too. So be curious to see if Tanner's gonna maybe bench McLaurin, but you gotta think McLaurin's eventually gonna get going. I will say I'm curious if Jaden plays this week or not, but Lamar, even
Yep.
after kind of a slower start, he still puts up 30. Barkley's still putting up over 15.
Yep.
Chuba, a guy I really didn't love going in the draft, he seems to be able to put together some solid performances. So, I mean, Tanner, just some really good picks from him, especially in the middle rounds that I think are really helping his team.
That Panthers game was crazy. The
Yeah,
fact that they almost won that game and to get off another I'm sure Clayton had picked them to lose in our losers league this week, and when they got that onside kick,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was so nervous.
I was. That's where all I think went bad for me was the fourth quarter of the Carolina game. We had it going pretty good. The early games, team was looking good. Patriots won. You get into the late games, even the start. We had the Cardinals touchdown,
I
defensive
would say the
touchdown.
Cardinals' defensive touchdown was massive for you.
Yep,
In
definitely.
our which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah,
But
in our game, and then in losers, I think we were up. I think the Cardinals were up like 27-9 with 5 minutes left. That last 5 minutes, I think, was where my whole football week just
it
fell in
was
the gutter. There, I was on pins and needles watching that game, and there was no reason I should have been. The onside kick, like you said, I it looked like no one wanted the football for Arizona there, and I was just out there sweating. Thank God they needed a touchdown and not just a field goal. But
yeah, right. Yeah, one lucky play could have ended it though for you. So yeah, glad they got the L there.
yeah, I mean, okay, here it is. Getting in,
I'm gonna let you go. You
getting
just take
into
your
our
time.
game. I'll start with the good. You know, Drake May, great performance. Drake May
You
did
stuck
great.
with him.
The wide receivers, CD and Amon Ra look great. I will say, I think CD Lamb has a chance to finish as wide receiver one this year in fantasy. I think Dallas is going to throw the ball a ton. CD's good. He'll get open. Dak likes CD. Wide receiver one. All right. Now for the bad. When you are a starting running back for a football team in the NFL and you manage to get 3 points when your team has the lead from pretty much start to finish in a football game,
Pick on the first play.
you almost deserve to be dropped. ESPN saved my ass. I literally was in there trying to drop Hampton. I was so mad. And no, I'm not going to drop him. I understand, people have bad weeks, but a team like the Chargers, who made J.K. Dobbins, I mean, and he looked good for Denver. I'm not trying to hate on J.K., but made J.K. Dobbins look like a Pro Bowler last year. Now can't take a guy who they took as high as they took Hampton, and they can't get him any yards. Like, Justin Herbert was the leading rusher for the Los Angeles Chargers in a game. Were the Chargers playing behind? No, 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 no. They were playing ahead the whole time.
Okay. By
And
multiple scores most of the time.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I will say, Hampton gets 3 touches in a row inside the 5, and he gets like 2 total yards. I was just
And then the fumble to top it all off at the
okay.
end.
I will say, I think they gave the fumble to Herbert.
Oh, did they? They took it away from him.
I think they did, and I will say, as mad as I am at Hampton, it's more like the whole team. Because every time they gave him the football, he was getting hit behind the line. And on that fumble play, you look, Mason Crosby is like hitting Hampton as he's getting the football at that point. So, um, I don't know. You come in to Monday night, you're down 6 points. You got your RB2 starting running back for the Chargers in a game, you think they're going to be leading the whole time, and you think they're going to try and get the running game going. Well, they were leading the whole time, but they were like, screw the running game. So I don't know. And then I'm actually going to go one more down. Travion Henderson. He has to be the most talented running back in New England. I am a Patriots fan. I watch every game. I've been on Twitter. I've kept track of him the whole offseason. He has to be, in my opinion, the best running back on the team. And I will say, Stevenson had a great game.
Ramondre did look pretty good.
Probably was the reason we won. And then Antonio Gibson, the other running back, he did have the return. So, I definitely understand rewarding him with some carries too there at the end. But when you look at the Patriots, they took Travion Henderson in the second round. And I think they've given him a total of 11 touches in 2 weeks. It's like, what are we doing? Like, why take a running back that high if you're going to give him only 2 touches? And then I'll go one further. A guy who's not on anybody's roster right now, but Kyle Williams, we took in the third round. I don't even know if I think he might have seen 11 snaps all season. Like, and our secondary is getting torched left and right now. So I don't know. Maybe we could have taken some picks there to help in the secondary, but it just very underwhelming usage from two guys I was pretty excited to get. And then I don't know, Chase Brown, he's getting all the touches in the world, but he can't do anything with them. So I guess there's my event on my team. I still scored 125, second most points this week. I got to be happy. Drake May looked good. Justin Herbert looked good again on my bench, so I think I got quarterback figured out, which is for me is always nice to get figured out early. CD and Amon-Ra looked great. Tyler Warren looks like a decent trade. Matt Prater was good. But the running backs, oh my God. I will say Judkins, he got the most carries in the Browns backfield, so that was good. But he does play the Packers.
And he looked good.
Yeah, he does play the Packers this week, though, so I don't know how much help he'll be this week. But there's my vet. Ryan, you can talk about how good your team did. They did do good. Congratulations.
Well, I will give you the upside to your running backs is that they're young guys, so they should only get better from here on out. I at least think you have that to look forward to. I think they'll only get work more into the offense. Losing with the second most points in a week is terrible. I know because I was dead certain that it was going to be me who scored the second most points and lost, and I was walking around all day yesterday pissed off before the games even started because I was so confident that Hampton was going to get more than 6 points.
Or just 6. I had the highest score in the game.
Oh yeah, that's what I was pretty sure was gonna happen. It was just gonna come down to some tying play at the very end, and I'd lose on a tiebreaker. All right, that being out of the way, Jonathan Taylor, who I had to hear how far down on the list is he when I took him with my second pick. James Cook, who I also had to hear that Josh Allen was going to take all his touchdowns away. DeAndre Swift, who I heard was going to lose out to Kyle Monangai, a guy whose name I can barely say. My running backs are the best in the league. Scott, please do not disrespect me with any more terrible trade offers, trying to send me Nick Chubb and a bunch of garbage for not my best running back, my third best running back, who would be the best running back on your team. That being said, Patrick Mahomes running around a lot may not be great for the Chiefs, but it's pretty good for my fantasy team. I expect that they'll get the passing game figured out, and he'll look even better. I think he'll be back towards the top 5 to top 1 quarterbacks eventually here by the end of the year. Travis Kelce is not going to drop any more balls in the end zone. I should have had another 14 points off of that. Instead, he gets a pick. I'm feeling great about my team. I'm riding a massive heater. I think this is the best start I've had in years. And I'm just loving it. It feels good to be 4-0.
Yeah, I will say your running backs look incredible. James Cook looks like he has a chance to finish at top 5 RB. Jonathan Taylor maybe as well. That Colts offense is surprisingly good.
And
then, I don't know, you get your wide receivers to figure out just a little bit, and you'll be really, really, really good. And you do have wide receivers on your bench right now that are performing.
That have played well. Waddle has played well. Cup looked good. Debo has scored in back-to-back weeks. And my namesake, who was considering dropping last week, but I didn't because I didn't want to change my team name, Cam Skattebo, looks like he may just take over the Giants' backfield. Looked good, got in the end zone, seems to just be the most talented running back on that team. So we'll see.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Great week.
But great game.
Definitely.
You had me sweating the entire time. I was so mad at Dan Campbell. I think Amon-Ra scored 2 4-yard touchdowns while they were up 30 points. I was about to lose my mind.
One was on 4th and goal.
I know, while they're up 30.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But
great game.
We
called game of the week. We were right about it.
Definitely was game of the week. But that's another week. We got another episode coming up later this week. We'll hand in the picks. Actually, with that, I kind of jump the gun here a little bit. We have to show the standing updates on the picks. You have me 3-7, and you have Ryan at I have it at 7-2, but he must be 7-3 or
7-3.
7-3.
I'm pretty sure 7-3.
Okay, so that was probably my mistake there. But looks like right now I'm headed to Idaho next year.
On a heater.
Which I'm definitely not too mad about. But yeah, that is the update in the standings of picks. I don't know. I gotta get right somehow, and either in fantasy or in the picks or just somewhere. But looking at
some guys just no ball.
Yeah, exactly. You're killing it right now. But yeah, we'll have another episode later this week where we'll do waiver updates, and then we'll send some more
our next predictions.
Yeah, so we'll catch you guys all a little bit later, either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see how that goes, but good luck tonight on the waivers, boys.
Yep, good luck in the waivers, gentlemen. Talk to y'all soon.